Welcome to the 5 months results video. Today we will find out which UFC Predictions channels on YouTube had the best and worst results from June when I started this channel to October of this year. When I started this channel, I began with about 50 channels and now after gradually adding more and more, I'm following over 100. For some channels I've tracked more than 200 predictions and others less than 30. So keep in mind that fewer predictions can mean less accurate results. For this video we're focusing on channels with at least 50 tracked predictions to give you a more clear picture. And as always, we'll kick things off with the 5 months totals and the Oddsmakers versus the Tapology community versus the YouTube Prediction Channels. In the last 5 months there were 227 fights. I've tracked 105 channels and those 105 channels made a total of 13,339 predictions. On average, each channel that I've tracked made 127 predictions in these 5 months. Of the 13,339 predictions that all these channels made, 8,319 were correct, or 62.4%, and 5,020 were incorrect, or 37.6% of all the predictions that have been made. Who were the best at picking the favorite fighters and had the best results? The Oddsmakers, the Tapology community, or the YouTube Prediction Channels? Out of the 227 fights that I've tracked, 223 had a favorite fighter and an underdog in odds, and 4 fights were exactly even in odds. Out of those 223 fights, the favorite fighter won 158 times, or 70.9%. And if you had placed a $100 bet on the favorite fighter on all these 223 fights, you could have won $510 for a 2.3% return of investment. So, just placing a bet on the favorite fighter over these last 5 months was profitable. The underdogs won 65 fights out of the 223, and if you placed a $100 bet on all the underdogs these last 5 months, you could have lost more than $4,000 for a minus 19.4% return of investment. How good was the Tapology community at picking the winner of each fight compared to the Oddsmakers? Well, they did less good than the Oddsmakers. The favorite fighters in picks by the Tapology community won 146 out of 226 fights for 64.6%. And if you followed all of their picks and placed a $100 bet on the favorite, you would have lost almost $1,200 for a minus 5.3% return of investment. And what about the YouTube Prediction Channels? Did they do better? Well, a little bit. The favorite fighter in picks by the YouTube Predictors won 148 times out of 225, or 65.8%. And if you placed a $100 bet on the favorite in picks by the YouTube Predictors, you would have lost over $1,000 for minus 4.5% return of investment. So, in conclusion, the Oddsmakers were better at picking the winner for each fight over these last 5 months. Now we will look at the UFC Prediction Channels on YouTube and see which ones had the best and worst results over these last 5 months. And we start with the least correct picks. At number 10 we have our favorite Brazilian fighter Manny Moicano. He made 77 predictions and 43 of them were correct for 55.8%. At number 9 we have The Weasel. He made 121 predictions and 67 were correct for 55.4%. At number 8 we have Drywall with 84 predictions and 46 were correct for 54.8%. In 7th place we have Tyrell from the Running Mouth MMA show. He made 81 predictions and 44 were correct for 54.3%. In 6th place we have Paul from the Dogger Pass podcast. I've tracked a total of 148 predictions and 80 of them were correct for 54.1%. And now we get to the top 5, and at number 5 is Henry Cejudo. He made 50 predictions and 27 of them were correct for 54%. At number 4 we have the Finch Jets. He made 82 predictions and 42 were correct for 51.2%. In 3rd place we have Based Goddess. I've tracked 74 predictions from her and 37 were correct for exactly 50%. And in second place we have Sean from the Running Mouth MMA show. He made 81 predictions and 40 were correct for 49.4%. And in number 1 for least correct picks over these last 5 months we have Kamaru Usman. He made 50 predictions and 23 were correct for 46%. As you can see in these results, most channels have less than 100 predictions. And I think for most of these channels, the more predictions I track from them, the better their results will be. Because luck can play a big part in these results. Which channels had the most correct picks over the last 5 months? And despite this being the top 10 of correct picks percentage, there's still a channel that lost money. So having a high correct pick percentage doesn't always mean your picks are profitable. That's why later in this video we will also go over which channels have the highest return of investment percentage on their picks. At number 10 for most correct picks we have BetSam. He made 152 predictions and 102 were correct for 67.1%. A quick correction for BetSam. Because he changed his name from BetSlam with Sam to BetSam, some of his data was missing in these results. But I only figured this out after making all the files for this video. So here is the quick fix. At number 9 we have MMA Data Guy. He made 190 predictions and 128 were correct for 67.4%. And at 8 we have Once Upon a Slugfest. Out of his 220 picks, 150 were correct for 68.2% correct. In 7th place we have Angelo from We Want Picks. Out of his 260 picks, 149 were correct for a correct pick percentage of 69%. In 6th place we have the MMA Fortune Teller. He made 212 predictions and 147 were correct for 69.3%. And now the top 5 of most correct picks we have at number 5 King of Crackdown 5095. He made 115 predictions and 80 were correct for 69.6%. In 4th place we have Coach from Premium Picks. And for Coach from Premium Picks I also made the same mistake because of the name change. So these are the updated results and he should be in number 7 for most correct picks. In 3rd place we have R. Parks. He made 73 predictions and 53 were correct for 72.6%. And in 2nd place over these last 5 months we have MMA Lewis. He made 121 predictions with 89 correct for 73.6% correct pick percentage. And in 1st place over these last 5 months for most correct picks we have Uncle Wheezy. He made 65 predictions and 49 were correct for a correct pick percentage of 75.4%. So congratulations to everyone who made it in this top 10. A quick disclaimer though, the top 5 on this list are channels with just over or 100 predictions. And as I mentioned earlier, variance can have a bigger impact with a smaller number of predictions, and in these cases it could just be a bit of lucky variance. And here is the overview of all channels that had at least 50 predictions over these last 5 months, with their correct picks, their total picks and the correct pick percentage. If you enjoy the content and find it helpful and informative, then don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. For this next part of most unprofitable and profitable predictors, we include all picks that a channel has made and that you place a $100 bet on each pick a channel made, even if according to the channel it's a very low confidence pick or they don't like the odds. To calculate these results, we use the odds from the tail of the tape. Which channels made the most unprofitable predictions over these last 5 months? At number 10 we have AsideMMA. He made 134 predictions and placing a $100 bet on each of them would have lost you $1,870 for a minus 14% return of investment. At number 9 is Money Moicano with a loss of $1,161 for a minus 15.1% return of investment over his 77 predictions. At number 8 we have Drywall. with a loss of $1,333 for a minus 15.9% return of investment. In 7th place, we have Based Goddess with a loss of $1,187 for a return of investment of minus 16% if you followed all of her 74 picks and placed a $100 bet on each of them. In 6th place, we have Paul from the Dogger Pass podcast with a loss of almost $2,400 for a return of investment of minus 16.2% on his 148 picks. And in 5th place, we have Tyrell from the Running Mouth MMA show with a loss of $1,453 for a minus 17.9% return of investment on his 81 predictions. And in 4th place of most unprofitable predictors, we have The Weasel. If you placed a $100 bet on all of his 121 predictions, you could have lost $2,460 for a minus 20.3% return of investment. In 3rd place, we have the Finns Jets with a loss of $1,829 for a minus 22.3% return of investment. And in 2nd place is Sean from the Running Mouth MMA show with a loss of $2,089 for a return of investment of minus 25.8% on his 81 predictions. And in number 1 for the most unprofitable predictor over the last 5 months, we have Kamaru Usman. If you followed all of his predictions and placed a $100 bet on each of them, you could have lost $1,348 for a return of investment of minus 27%. Which channels were the most profitable predictors over these last 5 months? Premium Picks was at number 10 before I found out about my mistake. And with the updated results, he's no longer in the top 10 of most profitable predictors. Instead, Once Upon a Slugfest is now at number 10. If you followed all of his 220 predictions, you could have made a profit of $1,455 for a 6.6% return of investment. At number 9, we have the MMA Fortune Teller. He made 212 predictions, and if you followed all of them, you could have won $1,570 for 7.4% return of investment. At number 8, we have Brandon from Santino DeFranco podcast. He made 119 predictions for a profit of $956 and an 8% return of investment. And what's interesting about his result, his correct pick percentage was only 64.7%. And most channels in this top 10 have at least 69% correct pick percentage, which probably means that he's pretty good at finding profitable underdogs. In 7th place, we have King of Crackdown 5095. He made 115 predictions for a profit of $948 and an 8.2% return of investment. In 6th place, we have Angelo from We Want Picks. He made 216 predictions, which is the most predictions in this top 10 list, and he made a profit of $1,842 for an 8.5% return of investment. And in 5th place, from the same podcast, we have Jacob from We Want Picks. He made 141 predictions for a profit of $1,324 for a 9.4% return of investment. And out of this top 10, his correct pick percentage was the lowest, with only 63.8%. But just like Brandon, he is probably very good at picking profitable underdogs. In 4th place, we have BetSam. He made 197 predictions for a profit of $2,077 and a return of investment of 10.5%. In 3rd place, over these last 5 months, we have MMA Lewis. He made 121 predictions for a profit of $1,546 and a return of investment of 12.8%. And in 2nd place, we have R. Parks. If you followed all of his 73 predictions and placed a $100 bet on each of them, you could have won $1,482 for a very good return of investment of 20.3%. And in number 1, over these last 5 months, for the most profitable predictor, we have Uncle Wheezy. He made 65 predictions and following all of them, could have won you $1,519 for a very good return of investment of 23.4%. So, congratulations to Uncle Weezy for being the most profitable predictor and the predictor with the highest correct pick percentage over these last 5 months. And of course, also congratulations to all the other channels in this top 10. All channels that were in the top 10 for highest correct pick percentage and most profitable predictors can be found in the video description below. And here is the overview of all 81 channels that had at least 50 predictions with their money won and lost and their return of investment. That was it for the 5 months results video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. If you did, then don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It will help a lot. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you soon in the next video.